Good afternoon, and welcome back to Dr. Logic Awkwardly Does Logic in Her Kitchen. Before we jump into the historical details that we're going to be interested in, I'm going to give you a very short video of vocabulary because there are a couple of words that we're going to be using time and time again. And the sooner that you get familiar with them, both in terms of how to spell them, write them, where the accents go, how to pronounce them, and also what I mean when I say them, the easier your life will be over the next series of videos. So what we're interested in, just to recap, is how can we make a notion of inference that is epistemically characterized, so usable for providing epistemic support or justification for a conclusion rather than a deductive argument for a conclusion. How can we characterize that sort of notion of inference in a structural fashion? So, in a formal way, just like we've been doing logic, all of the other types of logics, we've looked at the form or structure of an argument. We're going to be doing exactly the same thing here. And in order to be able to talk about various parts of the form or the structure, we will need to use, you guessed it, technical terms, more vocabulary, except I'm in keeping with the previous video, this vocabulary is going to be in Sanskrit. So let me get up the whiteboard so that we can write everything down and see it in all its glory. So there are 3 words that I want you to learn in this video. So these are the 3 components that go into a good anumana. So remember that word from the previous video, anumana. This is just our word for inference. The 3 components of an anumana are going to be the Paksha, which is the subject under investigation. So this is what we are going to be trying to conclude something about. And then we have the second thing is the Hetu, or the ground property. So this is this is something that we already know that the Paksha has, something that is perhaps easy to ascertain through one of the other anumana, perhaps through pratyaksha or shabda, so perception or testimony. And then the third one is the Sadhya, and this is the target property. So this is the property that we want to establish as holding of the Paksha. So our subject that we are investigating, we know it has some properties. This is the Hetu and possibly other things. And we want to establish that it has some other property. That's our target property. That is the Sadhya. Now, because they're technical terms, but they're also kind of placeholder terms. So many things could be the paksha. We could be talking about pots, or we could be talking about cows, or we could be talking about cats. Many things could be the Hetu. We could be talking about things that are created, or things that are eternal, or things that are colored, or whatever. And same for the Sadhya. So the Hetu and the Sadhya are the same kind of ontological category. They're just talking about properties. But in order to kind of use a little bit of a shorthand, we're not going to have the full symbolic notation that we have for the other logics that we've studied, but we will introduce kind of symbolic notation for representing some of these different formal features. So in general, we will use little p for the Paksha, capital H for the Hetu, and capital S for the Sadhya. So this kind of is picking up some of the syntax of predicate logic, where our properties and predicates got capital letters and our names for individuals, so our constants, got lowercase letters. So the 3 take-home words from this video are Paksha, Hetu, Sadhya. Learn how to spell them, learn how to pronounce them, and learn what they stand for, because we will be using these a lot. Join me next time, and you'll see them put into use then. Take care. Cheers.